This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. See, this is the problem with boxing fans. They don't understand the difference between competition and parody. Let me say it again. They don't know the difference between competition and parody. There's a thin line between the esprit of competition, meaning the spirit of competition. Let me rewind that because this needs to marinate in the corpus callosum and in the cerebellum. It needs to marinate in the medulla oblongata. There's a difference between the l'esprit of competition or the spirit of competition as opposed to parody. Most boxing fans are into parody. He knows his sport is a competitor of the highest degree and the highest order. Let me say it again. He knows his sport is a competitor of the highest degree and the highest order. Only three-dimensional thinkers, only those that are in the boxing 303 lane will understand the true weight and true magnitudes of what I'm talking about. The three fighters that people hate in boxing, notice, they are controversially tied to anything, is Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, and freaking Errol Spence. You know why? Because these fighters stand and lord over their damn respective divisions. Let me say it again. These fighters have either previously in the past stood over and lorded over their damn divisions, or they are currently standing and lording over their damn division. Case in point, Floyd Mayweather. Do you understand why the boxing world is torn and why they can't stand Floyd Mayweather? Because he beat up their beloved Cinnamon Alvarez. He beat up Manny Pacquiao. So he had the Mexican community fan base and the Filipino community fan base on witness protection and AWOL status. Mayweather embarrassed these guys. He showed the gulf and he showed the separation and skill set between him and those guys. So they hate him for it. They don't want to consider him great. They want to always shit on his undefeated record. Every chance they get, they want to say, oh, he's just a guy that conveniently ducked opponents. He's a guy that picked and chose his opponents, etc., etc. There's only two fighters that I could say realistically that Floyd Mayweather probably did not want to fight. And the reason why I know this is because I saw the intel and the body language from Roger Mayweather and Floyd Mayweather Sr., and that's Vernon Forrest and Winky Wright. I can argue that down with anybody because I know what those fighters would have brought in terms of fits and in terms of what they brought to the table in terms of package to a Floyd Mayweather. And I'm talking about these guys in their prime. So when people say Floyd Mayweather, those two guys, yes, but everybody else, no. But Floyd Mayweather, outside of that, has given you dominating performance after dominating performance after dominating performance. This man has been undefeated. Hard work and dedication. Did not drink. Did not smoke. Always dedicated himself to his craft. Always came in peak condition. Stayed in shape year in and year out. Gave blueprints to Cinnamon Alvarez, who was following it from a boxing standpoint. When you look at Cinnamon Alvarez, he looks like a poor man or a reject version of Floyd Mayweather out there. Manny Pacquiao, copying Floyd Mayweather's blueprint in terms of how to be the A side from a money aspect. All of these fighters today, Andre Ward, Errol Spence, Terrence Buck Crawford, whether it's from a boxing standpoint or whether it's from a financial standpoint, they've all taken a blueprint out of Floyd Mayweather's book. But Floyd Mayweather is supposedly disrespected. Come on, man. He stands in a rarefied company of his own. This is what the esprit of competition, the spirit of competition is about. There can only be one when it's all said and done. Let me say it again. In any respective sport, there can only be one. Whether it's a team or a player or a boxer, there can only be one, motherfuckers. Because that's what competition is all about. We need to find out who is the one, when it's all said and done, that lords over the rest. This is how he knows the sport loves to watch sports. This is how he knows the sport looks at sport. I look at it in the true element of competition. So when people are sitting here saying, man, you only root for a certain person. Yeah, because I'm all about the esprit of competition or the spirit of competition. I like to see one motherfucker eventually lord over everyone else. That's what competition is all about. This is not a participation award like this PC generation where everyone gets a award. No, it's competition. Somebody has to win and somebody has to fucking lose. Andre Ward, let's get to him now and give him his truest and his properest respect. The reason why people hate on him is because these UK fans are mad because of Carl Froch and they're mad because of George Groves and how Andre Ward humbled they fucking ass. So they hot and bothered like grits. That's why they always got something negative to say about Andre Ward. When you sit here and look at Saki Obika in that fight, what did Andre Ward do to his ass? That was a very awkward fighter. Andre Ward figured his ass out. This is the stuff that I'm talking about. Sergey Kovalev. Andre Ward mentally and physically beat this dude down. Got him a hangover. So much so that Sergey Kovalev lost to a fighter that he shouldn't even have lost in the first place to. Elliot Alvarez. John David Jackson fired Sergey Kovalev. Exposed Sergey Kovalev. Saying, hey, Andre Ward did take a lot from him. Did take the chunk from him. So when people sit here and say that Andre Ward did not give the blueprint, what the fuck are you talking about? You really need to check your head when it comes to boxing. Andre Ward is the reason why Sergey Kovalev has not recovered or recouped just yet. And Buddy McGirt is not going to help that. Buddy McGirt has changed some things. Buddy McGirt has fine-tuned some things. But he's not going to completely take away that. Because when you lose a fight of that epic proportion and that magnitude, that's a chunk taken away from you can't get back. Let me say it again. It's a chunk taken away from you that you can't get back. Andre Ward is the reason why WBSS tournaments in boxing that is relevant because of the work that he did in the Super 6. Andre Ward has beaten every competitor they put in front of him. He's the true definition of l'esprit of competition. He lorded over every division that he was in. Triple G ducked his ass. And this was Triple G in his prime. Andre Ward, how many times he called his ass out? He didn't want no smoke because he knew Andre Ward was going to box his ears off and embarrass the shit out of him. Canelo Alvarez. He didn't want no Andre Ward in his prime because he knew what time it was. Just like Money Mayweather. These two guys were number 1 and number 2 respectively in the pound for pound division. They wasn't even fucking close. Let me say it again. They were number 1 and number 2 in the pound for pound division, and it wasn't even fucking close. And when Mayweather retired, who took number 1? S.o.g. And people that didn't want to give S.o.g. it is because they tried to rob him. This is what the esprit of competition is about. One guy lording over the rest, because when it's all said and done, we need only one. That's what boxing is about, folks. At its truest and its most properest levels. I'm talking boxing 303 lane. If you ain't in this lane, you don't know what I'm talking about. So again, we have to define the difference between boxing fans that like parity and they want to see everybody, or boxing fans that are a remnant like he knows the sport. And the word remnant means a small group, meaning we are a rare, unique level of individuals. We want to see the actual element of competition. That means that you have to have people fight, and eventually there can only be one motherfucker that stands, one motherfucker that lords over everyone. This is how he knows the sport rocks. Was when you rocking with the best, you don't settle for the rest. Let me say it again. When you're rocking with the best, you don't settle for the rest. One more time. When you're rocking with the best, you don't settle for the rest. I don't got time to settle for the rest. I'm all about the l'esprit of competition, the spirit of competition, because I know there can only be one motherfucker that stands when it's all said and done. Now let's look at Errol the True Spence. This man is 26-0. This man is doing heavyweight lifting after heavyweight lifting after heavyweight lifting in the welterweight division. The Eric Bundu fight. Keith Thurman couldn't get this guy out of here. Errol the True Spence blew the dude motherfucker out the water. Eric Bundu was so hot and bothered like grits and so in his feelings, he said, oh, Keith Thurman was the harder fighter than Errol Spence. But we already saw that. So Eric Bundu, get your ass out of here. Chris Algieri. Manny Pacquiao, the legend, dropped Chris Algieri 7 times but couldn't get his ass out of there. Errol the True Spence did a 40-yard dash from one side of the ring to the other and got his ass out of there, blew his ass out of the water. We're talking about Errol the True Spence at his best vernacular of tactical aggression, technical punching placement, and body snatching work, the levying onslaught of the punishment style. This is when you know when Errol the True Spence is at his best, when he has veins all over his forehead and veins all over his body. That means his conditioning is in peak performance for him to obliterate your ass and to levy the levying onslaught of the punishment style. This same Errol the True Spence that decapitated Kell Brook. When Sean Porter lost the belt and cried to his daddy in his daddy's arms, Errol the True Spence had to be the American to bring back in the l'esprit of competition, the spirit of competition that is, bring back pride to the Americans and get the belt back from Kell Brook. That 2015-2016 Kell Brook, no welterweight wanted to see him. Keith Thurman ducked his ass. Danny Garcia ducked his ass. Sean Porter didn't want that free smoke again. Nobody was clamoring for that guy. But Errol the True Spence said, no, I'll run my ass all the way to where your fucking ass is at and beat your ass in fucking Sheffield. That's what he did. In front of what, 40,000+ folks? But Errol the True Spence don't get credit for that. Then we look at the Chris Van Heeteren fight. This South African was 23-1-1 when Errol the True Spence fought him. Nobody was clamoring to fight this guy at the welterweight division. Errol the True Spence took a chunk out of his ass. Beat his ass down. The Barrera fight. People forget Barrera's record at the time when Errol the True Spence fought him. Samuel Vargas. Another guy that was either undefeated or at one loss when Errol the True Spence fought him. He had momentum in the welterweight division. Where the fuck has he been since Errol the True Spence fought him? Phil Greco. He was 26-1. And that one loss that he had to Sean Porter was in a decision that could have gone either fucking way. Errol the True Spence blew that motherfucker out the water, turned him into a chef on YouTube. A freaking YouTuber. Lamont Peterson. Errol the True Spence prepared him for the slaughter for Sergey Lipinets. Sergey Lipinets didn't do damage. The damage was done by Errol the True Spence. He decapitated his ass. Should I go on, man? But people sit here and say, oh, Errol the True Spence resume is suspect. Mikey Garcia. A full-weight division champion. A guy who was ranked number 4 on the pound-for-pound list prior to the Errol the True Spence fight. Beat Adrian Broner. Beat Robert Easter. So he thought, oh, since I beat these black guys, I could beat Errol the True Spence too. And what happened? He got whitewashed. He got white-gloved. 120-107. The most embarrassing lopsided victory from a boxing clinic standpoint that we've seen since Floyd Mayweather boxed Canelo Alvarez's ears off. I still can't get past this split decision nonsense. And that boxing judge hasn't been decisioning boxing since. Then we sit here and we look at Sean Porter fight. Right? This was the fight where everybody was saying that Errol the True Spence needed to show us. Roy Jones Jr., he needed to show us. What did he show in that fight? He's the only fighter to have the most definitive win against Sean Porter. He outbrawled the brawler. This is another fight where he proved that he can beat you at your own game. He could have made the fight a lot cleaner. He could have fought off the back foot, but he chose not to. Because Sean Porter and Kenny Porter said Errol the True Spence can't go toe-to-toe. Errol the True Spence don't got the will. His will's going to get broken. And if you remember, Errol the True Spence said before the fight that he's going to break Sean Porter's will. And he's going to take the belt off of his ass. And that's exactly what he did. Beat his ass 9-3. If you say 8-4, I'll give it to you. Didn't Bob Arum say 8-4? So this is what the l'esprit of competition is about. A fighter who lords over his division. That's what you want to see. Because in the spirit of competition, there can only be one, motherfuckers. But see, most boxing fans, they don't understand that they're not about competition. They're about parity. And I get it. But open your fucking mouths and admit that you're about parity here. You want to see everybody do something. Now, if that's the case, that's on you. But me, I'm about the spirit of competition. Because like I said, when you're rocking with the best, you don't settle for the rest. Let me say it again. When you're rocking with the best, you don't settle for the rest. One more time for the number 3 of confirmation. When you're rocking with the best, you don't settle for the rest. And the 3 best, Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, and Errol Spence, put respect on their fucking names. This is He Knows the Sport. Check it out.